Hello there and welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ungainly Titan. This is my first look at the Crusader 5.5 inch gun, which is the basic gun with the Crusader, and it's the tank that follows on from the FE304, the infamous Bert the Avenger. A very warm welcome also to any new subscribers to the channel since I last recorded. And a shout out to LT Bulldog for promoting my channel on the World of Tanks console forums. Thank you very much, LT Bulldog, much appreciated. So, the Crusader self-propelled, what's it like? Bearing in mind that I really only had one game in it, which is this one here, it plays very much like the FE304. It's pretty much short range, high arc, accurate gun, rapid range of fire, doesn't do a lot of damage. It is a peculiar tank in a tradition of peculiar British tanks in that it goes faster backwards and forwards. As you can see, it can't even reach the full length of the map in Sacred Valley, and it's got a 40 km/h, I think, reverse speed and a 20 km/h forward speed, and you need to keep up with the team. So I'm basically pulling out. I'm going to follow up the team. I'm going to follow along the northern route because it offers more cover than going along any other route on the map. Plus there isn't a lot of the team heading down towards the monastery, which is rather unfortunate. But the game is very heavy tank heavy. In fact, our team is got, what, 3 medium tanks, 3 artillery and a tank destroyer. And the rest are heavy tanks, and the enemy team has some extra medium tanks. And a light tank. Actually, yeah, there's 3 medium tanks, and they have a light tank as well. It's 1 tank destroyer and a similar amount of artillery. So I reckon this is a good central location for me to set up shop, and hopefully I can get a line of sight on some tanks. So you can see it aims in quite rapidly. 2.2 seconds. Shell velocity isn't huge, but it never is for artillery, and you kind of judge the fall of shot, and that's a question of experience and practice. As you can see, the team is very lightly represented in the direction of the monastery. Basically 1 tank has gone in that direction. I think I've set up too close to the ground in front of me, and I can't quite get the arc to get at these tanks over the intervening obstacles, so I pull back a bit to give myself a bit of room to shoot. And now that I've done that, I've actually gotten a much better position to cause damage and grief to my opponents. The T150 will do nicely very much, but as you can see, it's typical low caliber British howitzers. They don't do a lot of damage. But, we shoot often, shoot regularly. And it's reasonably good at getting tanks tracked. The medium tank down the monastery has run into some people. There's people slipping around by the central castle monastery or whatever it is. And I managed to get a few damaging ribbons in here, making life miserable for that T29. But I'm keeping an eye on the minimap because if that medium tank there on the hill goes, then those heavy tanks that are on the eastern side of the map have a free run into the base. So we keep an eye. The advantage of tanks is on our side so far, and I've managed to pick up a couple of kills. But I've noticed now that the position on the eastern side of the map has collapsed, and there's tanks heading into the base. So I'm kind of waiting for the Cromwell to stop to shoot at the artillery before I open fire at them. Now somebody has spotted me, and they've opened fire. So I fire shot and bug out, basically. I want to put some ground between myself and that heavy coming up. which is a hammer. The Cromwell's been taken out, but he didn't have a lot of hit points, and I kind of fire a speculative shot there at the hammer. He's going for the remaining artillery, and I'm hoping that I can get some fire onto him. But the hammer is a reasonably maneuverable tank. And I'm having trouble keeping him spotted as well.
They're trying to capture our base.
So we got a bit of a hit onto him there, but it's not a huge amount. But my team is now starting to return. I've taken a hit, but not a very significant one. And I've taken a second hit, and that one was far more significant. But I'm hiding behind the ONI, or the OI rather, and use that as cover. And the hammer has other problems at this point in time. So there's only one enemy tank remaining, and we've managed to escape without too much difficulty to our base. So that's just a question of finding the remaining enemy tanks. So what do I think? Well, like I said, this is the only game I've played in it. It seems okay. I mean, the British line has been a very peculiar line in terms of artillery. You have tanks that can reach the length of the field so far, but they don't do huge amounts of damage. Rapid firing, relatively accurate guns. Then you have tanks like the Bishop that are dead slow and need to be right up there with the battlefield. So the first one that's then you have the FE304, which is a very high maximum speed. It has been nerfed in terms of its ground resistances, so its acceleration and stuff like that is rather poor. This tank seems to have actually good performance in terms of acceleration, either forward or in reverse. So, but it's not just, it doesn't have the top speed. I don't know what it's going to be like with the heavier guns. Got quite a lot of assisted damage there from tracking shots, and we managed to pick up 3 kills and a Stark's medal, which is a rather unusual one. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you again soon.